This content is for educational purposes only. What you do with this information is at your own risk. Thank you for watching. Enjoy.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be installing the Citra 3DS emulator here in Ubuntu on the Nintendo Switch. So let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, so whenever you want to install anything new in Ubuntu, the first thing that you should always check for is system updates. So let's start with that first. And in order to do that, you can go ahead and go to the Files tab here. And then once it opens up, you're going to want to make sure that you're in the Home tab. Now, you can click on it if you like. And then you can right-click in this empty area here and then open a terminal. Once you do that, you can type in this in the terminal, sudo apt update. Now make sure you have an internet connection before doing this, or else it will not work. But once you type it out, press enter. Then type in the password you used to create Ubuntu. And it's okay if it says that there's nothing to update. This is just the safest thing to do. So for me, everything is up to date. But for you, if it says that there's certain many files that need to be updated, you can just type in sudo apt upgrade after. Make sure it's spelled correctly. Upgrade, and then press enter, and then let it do its updating. Once that's done, we can close out of this terminal. It shows that I have nothing upgraded because everything's up to date for me. We can close out of here. We can close out of here now. And the next thing that I always like to do, just to be on the safe side, is run the Megascript online updater. It's pretty much the same thing that we just did right now, but with the Megascript, it does, I think, a little bit more. But it's very useful. So just to be on the safe side, I like to run it when I install anything new. So in order to run the Megascript, you can click on this show applications in the bottom left. And it's usually in the front already for you. Or you can just go to your search option and then type in the L4T Megascript. And then you could just click on it just to enter it. This also needs internet connection. If it's your first time using it, then it might need to install, but I've already installed it in mine, so that's why it's telling me this. Okay. Alright, so once you get through the Megascript opening dialogues, once you're here, you're going to want to have this checked, the all categories, and have everything else unchecked. Then go to selection. Click on it. Once you're here, this is usually where we had the option for the Citra, but we don't have that option anymore, which sucks. But we know why it's no longer there. But this is what I'm talking about. The auto updater says updates fixes system packages and things like that. So this is very useful as well, just in case, you know, anything is broken at the moment and it tries to fix it. So make sure everything else is unchecked, and you're going to want to leave this one checked, and then go to install items. You're going to type in the password you used to create Ubuntu. And let it do its thing. It might ask you some questions here and there because it's going to try and remove some stuff that might be broken. Oh, it's right here. Do you want to remove unused programs if there's any, or attempt to fix broken ones? I always click yes. Even though sometimes it just says that there's nothing to do. Okay, so once the Megascript has done what it needs to do, we can just go ahead and click on Exit Megascript. And this is just talking about an April Fool's joke. I hadn't seen that. Removing all your important files. Just kidding. That's funny. Alright, so now that we have all these updates that we just did, the best thing we can do now is do a restart. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go, I know my head's in the way, but if you click the top right corner of your screen, it's going to bring down a drop box. And at the bottom, right here, it says power off and log out. And then once it drops down that box, you can go to restart. And then restart. So I'll get back to you when it restarts. Okay, so now that we're back from a fresh restart, we can now try and see if we can install Citra. Now I know I did say that we're going to install Citra in the beginning of the video, but this is what I mean. There are different ways to get Citra to work here on Linux. There's the easiest route, which I'm going to show in this video. Then there's another route that I don't know how to do that yet. And then there's the longest route, which I don't want to get to because it's a really long route. But if we have to, then we have to. But we're going to start with the easiest route first, and I hope it works for everybody. But of course, if it doesn't, and I will do an update video with a different method that hopefully helps out. But starting with the easiest route first, if you got to see my previous video on the setup for the PS2, it's going to be pretty much the exact same thing, using Flatpak to install it. So let's get started. If you click on the Files tab here, the left, click on it, open it up. You're going to want to make sure you click on the Home tab. And then here, you're going to want to click on the empty area and then open a terminal. Once you open a terminal, you're going to want to type this out. Flatpak install Citra, and then press enter. So it says here that it found a reference. Just go ahead and type Y and then press enter. And then it says it found a remote one in FlatHub. So you're going to just type Y and then press enter. So there it goes. It found the Citra here. And this one's going to be the nightly version. And if you're ready, just go ahead and type Y and press enter. So now it's going to start installing the dependencies and things like that. And then the Citra emulator. And that's pretty much it. So hopefully this works for everybody. I already tried this about 4 times because I kept messing up, and then I would reinstall Ubuntu. And then also, if you got to see my previous video before this, talking about that I have to change from Ubuntu Bionic to Ubuntu Jammy. Got to find out the hard way that the Bionic is using an older version of Linux. That's what I took from it, and I'm not able to install this or do any other methods. So apparently the Jammy is the better option when it comes to gaming. And with Bionic, I have to add Flatpak versus Jammy already comes with it, and other things as well. So I had to make the move to Jammy, and now we're here. But when I installed Citra like this for the first time, it actually opened up with no issues. Versus Bionic, it gave me issues and it would crash and it would not even try. So here we are. I feel bad that I had to change, but it's probably for the better. And we're going to go from here. Everything is exactly the same. What we're trying to do, everything works exactly the same. It's just a different OS, and I believe Bionic is 18.04 and the Jammy is 22.4 or 04. All right, so after the installation is complete, we can go ahead and close out of the terminal. And here, and we're not going to be able to see it until we do another restart. So let's start with that. I'm going to right click. We're just going to click on the right side and then scroll down to power off and then restart. Okay, so we're back after another restart, and now we can check to see if Citra is installed. And we can do that by going into the show applications here on the bottom left, click on it. And then we're going to go to type to search, and then we're going to type the letter C. And there it is. There is Citra. But before I open it up, I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to drag it to the favorites. So that way, when I'm rebooting Ubuntu and stuff, it's already going to be here and I don't have to search for it again. But after that, we can get out of here. And now we have Citra. All right, so now we can go ahead and try it out. So let's click on Citra. And now that it opened up, we can see that we have the Citra Nightly 2104. And I'm not too sure about this, but I believe this is the more stable version of the 3 that are out there. I'm not too sure, but I'm just glad that we are able to get it the easy route. So now that we have this opened up, we need to do some configuration. As we can see that we have OpenGL. We need this to be on Vulkan. So if we go to emulation and let's go to configure. Once we're on here, I think we leave everything on default here in general. All right, let me see. I guess you can change these if you like, but I don't think I changed anything when I was in here. In system, we have the username. I don't think I changed anything here. Storage, all right. Graphics, this is where it's important. Here you can change from native of what it looks like to the 720 if you want to. That'd be up to you, and if the game can handle it. So we're going to be trying that later on. Get that out of the way. Here is where we need to change the OpenGL. We're going to click on Advanced. And here, in order for it to work with the NVIDIA Tegra, we need to have it in Vulkan. There we go. And I don't know about any of these that you need to take off. Let me know in the comments which would be better, because I'm not really too sure on these type of configurations, as I'm just learning for myself. But if I'm supposed to uncheck any of these, let me know in the comments. But that's pretty much it. I don't think there's any other type of configurations like the PS2, because that's all it gives me. Right, so now we have audio. I'll leave everything in default. In controls, once you have your Joy-Cons already paired, mine are already paired, you can move it. You have to disable the Joy-Cons by pushing the screen capture. Once you push it once, now you don't have no more control, and then you can do the setup. So once you have the paired Joy-Cons, the easiest way I found, but I think it doesn't work so well, is the auto map. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it says press OK on any of the buttons on your joystick. So if I click OK here, I'm just going to push one button, and it's going to change all of my buttons to the configuration. But I think when I did this last time, it had them backwards. So I'm not too sure. Let's see if it is. I'm going to push A here. Yeah, they were backwards. I was wondering why it's like that for my Joy-Cons. So maybe it's different on the 3DS. Maybe the button layout's different. I didn't have one, so I'm just going to switch them to my Joy-Cons. But that'd be up to you. So just to make things a little bit quicker, I'm just going to get out of here. Everything was auto mapped for me. I'm just going to click OK. Now my Joy-Cons will work. Now we can do this to double click and add a new folder. So I'm going to double click on this. And what we need to do is have a ROMs folder. And I forgot to mention that. So I'm going to go ahead and click on cancel. What we're going to do is we're going to click on files again. Once we click on files here in the home area, we're going to right click and we're going to click on new folder. And this one, I'm just going to name it Citra. And then inside Citra, I'm going to enter. I'm going to right click again and then do a new folder. And then I'm going to name this as ROMs. So once you're done with this, you can go ahead and add your ROMs. I don't have my SD card in my PC, but I'm going to go ahead and add my ROMs. I unfortunately can't show you how to get them or where to get them from, but hopefully Google can help you out on that end. But I'm going to add my ROMs and I'll get back to you when I'm done. Okay, so I added the games that I wanted to try. Now let's open up Citra and set up the directory for that folder so it can find those games. Open up Citra again. Once you're here, we're going to double click in this open area. And if you don't see this option here for the folder that we created with Citra, you can click on the home tab and then you can find the Citra folder here. Double click on it, double click on your folder for ROMs, and all your games should be there. Then you can just click on select. And now Citra pops them up, and I think it's pretty cool that it has a compatibility list. And even though it says not tested, I did open up this. This is just like, I guess, a general thing where they have a list and they update. But I did try this one and it did run, but I just tried it out real quick. So at the end of this video, I will be testing these out one by one and giving a little bit of gameplay so you can see how it runs and things like that. If you're interested, just like my PS2 series, I can try a 3DS series. This one might be a little bit harder because anything Nintendo related is going to get taken down. So it's like primarily Mario stuff. And even when I show gameplay, I'm going to remove audio from the game, just to be on the safe side. But other than that, let's go ahead and open one up. When we want to open up a game, we can just double click on it. So if we want to do this one says great. So let's start with this one. I'll double click on it and it just starts to launch. I'm gonna just bring this so that way I can make a bigger screen. On the bottom, it says my speed is at 160 FPS. This is not yet because the game hasn't started yet. But we have this screen here. Now I know that it has a double screen. So the problem I have with this is that when we try to play it, if you want to have the full screen, like I'm going to show you, you're going to have the other screen either too small, or you're going to have to come back to the screen to use it, and then things like that. So sometimes it might be a better way to have it like this instead of full screen. But here we can go to the view and then we can change the layout. So right now it's in default, but I think you can do large screen and it'll have like the main screen here, and then the touch screen you can use with your mouse. So this might get a little bit complicated, but if you're using just your Joy-Cons, you're gonna be able to you're gonna have to get out of the disabled mouse, and you're gonna have to push the screenshot, and then you're gonna have to go to the next and then click there. But since I have it in dock mode, I'm gonna use my mouse on that's connected to the dock. I'm gonna take off some more audio because I can hear it. And it should run after this. Let's see. There we go. I am using my controller to move the little screen. So that's what I'm going to do here. The audio is working pretty well. I'll most likely put some free music audio on here. Just so it won't be so quiet. Now this game is running pretty good at 60 FPS, so we could upscale this to make it look a little bit better. And this is something that I don't think you can do during game because I experienced some crashing, but I'm going to do it anyways. We go to configure, then go to graphics, and then we change this to 720. See how that works. And there you go. It's a lot more sharper, and if the game can handle it, it looks really good. This is death. there we go. So it's working for me. I hope it works for you. Let me know if it does. If it doesn't, I can try and help you out as best I can. This was the easiest route. I was looking around doing a lot of research. I spent several hours on the route that I wanted to try, and it just didn't work for me at all. But I'm sure that there's a way. I just, like I said, I'm not very experienced in this, so I don't know. But I'm gonna try and figure it out. And then the longest route, I haven't tried that either yet, but it seems to be very promising and a good route as well. But it's working for me. And let me know if it works for you too, if you want to try it. Also, if you want any game requests, I'll try to post them. Just keep in mind that if they're anything that's Mario related, then that's usually a big no. And if you still want to see that, I will take off the audio and I'll put probably some random free music in there. But other than that, I'm going to do the other testing so that way you can see the other stuff after this. But hope everything works out for you. I lost my train of thought. Let me know what you think. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you everybody that's been supportive, especially on the PS2 series. I'm getting back into that. I know that we just had a big update, so all this stuff, I'm getting so many comments, so I really appreciate it. I'm trying to catch up with everybody that's doing that's requesting games, that's messaging me with issues and other things. Like somebody had asked for a good while back already if I can do the install for Citra, and well, here we are. I know right now it's a little bit controversial topic, but we'll see how that goes. I just, you asked me for requests, and I'm trying to help out. There's other things that have been requested that I haven't got to, and also if I can't figure it out, then that's probably why I haven't posted it either. So I'm sorry about that. But thank you for requesting. Keep requesting. I really appreciate it. And again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.